Hello, are you ready? And
Yeah,
are you
I
you
think
are
I'm,
ready?
I'm a little
Yes.
nervous actually.
That's good, but it's of course because of your ego today will be about the prominent.
Yes.
Yes, so of course, and I got little goosebumps. Of course, it's a little bit nervous because it has to do the very best performance. So
I
it's a
know.
good thing.
This is like a performance to me. So it's like now I have
Yes.
to deliver, now I have to, I don't have to, but like I think
Yeah.
I yeah.
Yeah, no, and that's your driving force who is really awake and wants you to be the best and do the best. So just allow your ego to be there and enjoy this moment, Caroline. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's interesting to have Caroline here, and she is TV and radio host, and it goes so well together with your ego prominent. So I will dive right in and allow you to describe and tell you a little about your ego prominent. What is it? What does it do, kind of?
Oh shit. Uh
Yes, just
yeah.
let it
So,
speak.
yeah. So prominent or like in the center of
Yeah,
attention. What it does, it allows me to just be in the center of attention and to
yes,
be prominent. Is that how you say it?
yeah,
And just like take the space it that's needed, that's like
yes,
actually like needed
yeah,
in life. Like if I can't have a space where I can have my space, then
yeah.
I die. So
Ex-
I think in my first years of life when I was a kid, it took place in acting. Like
yeah,
I'm not sure if acting when I was a kid was more of I need to be prominent, I need to be in the center of attention, or if I actually love the work. Now it's more like I love the work, and
yeah,
if I get seen in my acting, that's nice. But if I just take classes and nobody like gives me you say recognition or the
yeah,
confirmation or the like, yeah, that's fine too.
yeah.
Because I love the acting work. But in that case, if I stand in a basement acting, then I need another space to be prominent in. So it's not like
Yes.
I can't have it.
No. And I just wanted to relate a little chat we had just before we went live, that you said, but I don't feel I need to be center of attention all the time. And so what was the answer of that? Why isn't the urge to be in the center of attention, you don't experience that um, as much as you did before? So why is that? It was a
I
good
know you
description.
answered on it.
Okay, it was a good description how what's happened because you have started to get used to, you have accepted your prominent driving force, and so what was my answer then?
Like I'm more connected to my intentions.
Yes,
That was your answer, and I just heard it like a few seconds ago. So it's like, okay, and what does that mean? So I'm not sure what that means yet, but it probably that like I don't have to be everywhere.
no,
um I have also that I have my space to be me and to be the voice and to be where everybody looks at me. I have that space.
yes,
um so that's, I think that's why I'm fine with not have that in all the spaces I'm in. Like,
no,
yeah.
exactly. So how was it, if we back a little bit, so how was it before you got become so comfortable with your ego? How was it before?
I think well this particular driving force I have always been comfortable with because I've always been living it. But it's when you get allowed to be in it, because it's not always popular to be in
No,
the center of attention. And sometimes I'm tall, I can be loud, I can be, so sometimes I was in the center of attention even though I didn't want to be in the center of attention. So prominent. So now it's more like I'm allowed to be, and I can also choose, like, this is where I'm going to be prominent, this is where I'm not going to be, this is not the space for it. So I can, like a puppet show, Muppet, no, like a
yeah, I know what you mean, those
puppet,
doll. Yeah.
I can control myself, and yeah, that was not the question, but
No, I think it's good that you describe when you suppress your ego, it tries to be heard. And then it could be all over the place, and your friends and your family get too much of the ego, and then it's more maybe uncomfortable for your environment. So what you are saying right now, it's that you have been landing in your ego, and that's why you can actually be together with your friends without trying to be in the center all the time. You can actually listening to your friends as well.
yeah,
Is that right?
yeah, absolutely. And it was not like it was not like a conscious thing before that, oh, I'm going to be prominent, I'm going to be in the center of attention. It was just, I just was.
Yes.
And probably like, oh, I need this, I need this, I need this. But now I'm like, I can just sit and I can just listen to them a whole night. I don't have to talk. I don't have to be like, we don't have any discussions. I can just sit and like exist with them. I don't have.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's not a conscious thing either. That's just how it's gotten to be.
Yeah, I
Sure.
get it. And that's the thing what you described. I mean, before you just wanted to be in the center of attention. That was not planned because it was unconscious. And that's how the ego is working. It's trying, even if it's there, it's always there, but no one is seeing it. So it's trying to take the opportunity it can to be heard. So, but right now I see how you are using your prominent ego is, as I can see it, this goes really well together with your podcast that you just released. So just give us a little hint how you're practical are using your prominent ego.
I think it's because I'm giving myself, and I have a partner, Sarah. We're doing it together, and we give ourselves. I give myself the permission that the podcast is my way or the highway. Like, this is where I talk, and I talk about me, and I talk about what I want, and I think it was Karin to the end. She was like, I want to give some nuggets of smart things to the audience. So that's like my way to, the podcast is my space to do that. And if people want to be a part of it, they can be a part of it. And if they don't have to. And I'm very like cool with, it's okay if you like me, if you don't. But that's like, I created that space for myself. But it was not like, oh, I need to do this, work with this driving force, I need to do this with this intention. It was just like, I could see when I started the podcast that, okay, so what spider leg is it in? What driving force is it connecting to?
Yes.
Yeah. So
okay. So do you have I mean, that it works so well is because you have your project, you have your ego in the right place, and you are performing together. Because you also, I mean, in your podcast, you have a message for the people, you give them those nuggets. So it's really a perfect partnership. So what do you think would happen if you didn't allow your prominent ego to be there?
Yeah, I would get bored. That's one thing. I would get like, there's no space for me. I would probably feel like I will wake up in the morning and I have nothing to, it sounds dramatic, nothing to live for, but it's like,
no, go ahead, got you.
Yeah, I have nothing to grab, I have nowhere to express myself. Yeah, I can do it on social media, but no, sometimes it's maybe my Instagram account or Facebook account, maybe that's another driving force, but my podcast is something else. So I would get like, maybe, yeah. So bored, feel bad, feel
Yes.
maybe take or be too much in all the other places
Yeah.
um, where I'm at. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So, and now just, so how is the feeling right now to be in so an alignment with just your intention and your prominent ego?
oh, it's like a highway. It's like boom. Instead of um, instead of I don't know how to describe it, but you know the people who run and they jump over the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of doing that and like I need to jump because there's a fence all the time, I can just
Ah,
woo, run smoothly. Also because I can see what's my life project in this spider leg. And that came naturally to me. Like I started the podcast and like, oh, what can we do with this? Oh, we can build a community. We can have these messages. We can teach people and contribute to people like this. And
yes.
so I can also see how it's connected with my life project. But that's not like the plan. It was at first,
No.
it was just like my intuition, like, oh, this and this and this and this. And then I saw, oh, but it's right here. It's on this paper. So it was already done. But so that's the difference, I think, with just following my intuition and following my flow and not
Oh,
plan, oh, this is a driving force, now I'm going to do this with what intention, and
yeah.
I'm not planning for this life project to happen. It's just get activated by itself, and then you have faucets, I don't know the word, but
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, I understand. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and so proud of it. Oh, I think I get goosebumps when you are saying this because this is so wonderful, and that actually it happened when you have everything like you now, your driving force and intention in a team. You don't need any plans. I mean, and that's I'm always preaching that in the theory that when you are in alignment with everything, you don't need any goals, you don't need any plans, because the only thing, and you describe it so beautifully, the only thing you need to do is taking action on what you call the intuition. And suddenly, I mean, the projects and the actions, it's showing up to you. You
yeah,
don't have to chase, what am I going to do? Because you have an such a trust in, if you are acting on what feels good for you, that feels right, everything else is just unfold.
yeah,
So
yes,
this is such an reality description of a beautiful, nice theory. So
yeah.
I'm really happy you are brought that up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that I have like 2 spider legs that are done or that have driving force, intention, and life project. And this is one
Yes.
of them. So
Yes.
so cool that I can see it all the way. And also, I just need to share this because it's so cool. Like
Good.
you did a workshop called Vivid Vision
Yeah.
last year, and where we could write our visions. And I wrote 4. One of them is having an office for our podcast, and it's like our podcast is this small right now, and office is like, oh my gosh, what? And the other thing is I want to speak more English. I want to talk more English. So then I got invited to this where I talk English
Mm,
about my podcast. So
yeah.
that's just okay. It's so amazing to, it's so important to write down your not goals but visions, like your longings. Um,
Yes.
I have a problem with the word dreams right now,
Yes. Yes.
but
Me too.
you do, yeah.
Yeah.
What are you longing for? And when I connect to that feeling and write it down, and then it happens. So without goal setting, it's just
Yes.
I act on what I'm longing for, what I need right
Yeah.
now.
No, because goal setting actually works against you, because it's kind of always a struggle. And most of the time you never reach your goals because you set a goal in the future and you don't know how you can reach the goal, because um, the present always changed depending on circumstances, your own feelings and everything. And that's why you always have to chasing something, and you most of the time you get disappointed because you didn't reach your goal, and so it works against you. But when you do as you said, and instead of talking about dreams, because dreams is I don't like it, because you can never, what you say, live a dream, because a dream is a dream and it's not supposed to be lived. But a longing, I mean, have a strong longing, that means that it's kind of the fuel, it's the future magnet. And the longing is most of the time, now it can actually be connected both to the intentions and to the driving force. And the longing in itself has the right energy that will move you forward. But if you try to go in and put goals and to be, because then you are just in your logical mind, you are just in your ego, and your ego hasn't that capacity to see in the bigger picture for the intention. And the intention is always the future magnet. And the ego is the manifester, the action taker, and that will do all this action that will be needed to manifest a thing. So I mean, this is such a great description how it works when you do it in the right way, what's right for you.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because what you're explaining right now, it's story of my life, the ego way, like the dream way. And I got into a point when I got so stressed about it, I got sick, so I couldn't go for any dreams or goals or whatever. I just had to follow what's popping today. Oh, this, okay, let's go do that. And I'm this is like I train, you say train, on that, right? Not train on that, I work
Exercise.
on that right.
Yeah, practicing.
I'm practicing on that right now, because I'm so much in my head, and I'm practicing every day to just follow what's popping, this came up, oh cool, let's go do that. And I'm trying not to ask questions about it, just follow it, even if it's super weird.
Yeah, and I think most people out there now can relate to what you are saying. And it's also that we have been taught that we should setting goals. You don't reach anything if you don't set any goals. And so it's so into your mind, and you can see it all over the place in social media, and you think that's the right way, but you forget when you have your right intention and you allow your ego to take action, you actually don't have time to make a plan, because the plan unfold before you have time to write it down. So what I would suggest instead, to have the really dissatisfied to be satisfied about yourself, is to write a have done list. Instead of a to-do list, and have done list, so you can see, because you always want to have more, to really experience the success you have had with all your actions. Just write down, oh, I did this, because you can't write it in the forehand. So it's much fulfilling to see, okay, I did this, instead of I didn't do that. What most of the time happen when you are doing a to-do list.
Yeah, and what makes me also a B list, because I'm
the B list,
to be I have been list, because I'm amazing at doing, but I'm working a lot on just being. Sit and stare for 10 minutes, just sit and stare into the wall and just be and see what happens. And like that takes a lot to me, so I'm practicing that right now as well. But when I manage to do that 10 minutes each day, it's like, it's amazing.
Actually you win there. That was even so much better to write down a to be have been list, what you call it, instead of have done list. I mean, and especially for people who are so much in the brain and have a brilliant brain. I mean, that's the hang-ups. That's the thoughts are so brilliant, and the ideas are so brilliant, and you are thinking fast, and you are smart, and that works against you too. So you actually need to do this, stare into the wall and get connected with how you feel and how you feel to be. So I think that was a really good one.
Oh, good.
Caroline.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, I mean, 20 minutes is passing so fast, so it's already time to wrap up a little bit. So what would be your most important advice to people who's listening right now from your experience, whatever, what you want to.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say what's popping in my mind right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, so when you do a lot of inner work or you do this spider thing with Brigida,
Yeah.
what's really important to me is that I've been noticing my brain is like, so I get ideas all the time, and
Yeah, I know.
before I acted on everything because everything is inspiration, but right now I'm not. I can really feel in my body like, this is what I'm going to act on. I can see that all these things are great ideas,
Yeah.
but it's not what I'm going to act on, but this thing is. So my advice is, if you're like me and have a brain like that goes like this and very a lot all the time and many ideas, just be aware, and the more you meditate, the more you can be närvarande. I don't know what the
Present.
present
Be
with
more present.
what
Yeah.
what are you gonna act on, and
Yes.
act on what feels good, and just pause the logic brain
Yeah.
for a while.
Good. It almost sounds like you should be in my weird group. My weird, the weird ones conversation. So maybe you will be invited. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, this has been wonderful. And now again, if you have questions to Caroline, or you want to add comments or whatever, ask them, because she has lots of answers. As she said, she have a really fast thinking, smart brain. So please ask her. I think I could say ask her anything, because
Yes,
there is an answer to most of the questions.
Yes, and thank you for having me here. Thank you for
So great. Yeah, it's been just delighted, fun, and excited. So it's a good for me. It's the start of the day, so it's a really energizing beginning of my day.
Amazing.
So good luck out there, and I will also checking in on your podcast and see what's going on there, because I'm curious. So thank you, and thank you to everyone who has been listening as well, and we see you soon again. So bye bye.